Hello sir, I'm R. Santosh Kumar. My registration number is 19BZ0050. I'm going to explain about the sending email in Android Studio. Email is messages distributed by electronic means from one system user to one or more recipients via network. Before starting email activity, you must know email functionality with the intent. Intent is carrying data from one component to another component within the application or outside the application. To send an email from your application, you don't have to implement an email client from the beginning, but you can use an existing one like default email app provided from Android, Gmail, Outlook, K9 Mail, etc. For this purpose, we need to write an activity that launches an email client using an implicit intent with the right action and data. In this example, we are going to send an email from our app by using an intent object that launches existing email clients. Following section explains different parts of our intent object required to send an email. First one is intent object action to send email. You will use action send action to launch an email client installed on your Android service. Following is simple syntax to create an intent with action send action. Intent email intent equal to new intent.action send. Second one is intent object data or type to send email. To send an email, you need to specify mail to as URI using set data method, and data type will be to text or plain. Using set type method as follows: email intent.set data URI.pass mail to email intent.set type text or plain. And third one, intent object extra to send my email, and it has built-in support to add to subject, CC, text, etc. fields which can be attached to the intent before sending the intent to a target email client. You can use following extra fields in your email. There are extra data and descriptions are there. First one, extra BCC, a string holding email addresses that should be blind carbon copied. Extra CC, a string holding email addresses that should be carbon copied. And third one, extra email, a string holding email addresses that should be delivered to. And fourth one is extra HTML text, a constant string that is associated with the intent used with action send to supply an alternative to extra text as HTML formatted text. And fifth one is extra subject, a constant string holding the desired subject line of your message. And sixth one is extra text, a constant char sequence that is associated with the intent used with action sent to supply the literal data to be sent. And seventh one is extra literal, a char sequence dialog title to provide to user when used with the action chooser. Here is an example showing you how to assign an extra data to your intent. Email intent.put extra intent.extra email new string recipient. Email intent.put extra intent.extra subject. Email intent.put extra intent.extra text messaging body. The output of above code is as below by the image. And first one is send email test and recipient subject message body and compose an email. There is an example for sending email. Following examples will show practical how to use intent object to launch email client to send an email to the given recipients. To email experiment with this example, you will need actual mobile device to equipped with latest Android OS. Otherwise, you might get struggle with emulator which may not work properly. Second, you will need to have an email client like Gmail. By default, every Android version having Gmail client app or K9 Mail app installed on your device. There is a description in the sending email. First one is you will use Android Studio to create an Android application and name it as RSK under a package.com.example.rsk. Modify src main activity.java file and add required code to take care of sending email. Modify layout XML file layout/activity/main.xml. Add any GUI component if required. I am adding a simple button to launch email client. And fourth one is modify res values/strings.xml to define required constant values. Modify Android manifest.xml as shown below. Run the application to launch Android emulator and verify the result of the changes done in the application. And here it is the main activity.java code. Package.com.example.rsk. Import android.net.uri and import android.os.bundle. Import android.activity. Import android.content.intern. Import android.utility.log and import android.view.menu. Import android.view.view. Import android.widget.button. Import android.widget.toast. Public class main activity extends activity at override protect void and create bundle saved instances close bracket super on click saved instance state. Set content view ordered layout dot activity slash main button start button equal to button find view by id ordered id dot send email and start button dot set on click is new view dot on click listener public void on click view send email protected void send email and log used log dot I send email string we used string 2 equal to comma and string cc2 and we are used intent in this logic. Intent email intent dot new intent dot action dot send email intent dot set data URI dot pass mail to email intent dot set type text dot plain email intent dot put extra dot intent dot extra email to email intent dot put extra intent dot extra cc comma cc email intent dot put extra intent dot extra subject your subject and email intent we used here put extra dot intent and we are used text here intent dot extra text email message goes here and try and we used activity intent start activity and intent dot create chooser email send intent and send email and finish and we use log dot I finish send email catch and content content and activity dot found exception x and we use text toast conditions toast dot make test main activity dot this there is no email client installed toast and toast dot length short show and close bracket and we used also a XML file here that is slash linear layout xml android equal http schemas.android.com apk android android layout with equal fill parent android layout it equal fill parent android orientation equal to vertical and text is also android id text layout with and android layout android text android layout and then parent top android layout center horizontal and android text size text is also used here android id layout with id text to android layout with android layout text color text size layout above and layout align right layout align end image button also used here android layout with and android layout right equal to tab content android id plus image button android src equal to drawable.abc android layout central vertical and android layout central horizontal equal to and we used button condition also android id equal to android plus send email android id layout with equal to fill parent and android layout id equal to graph content android text equal to string slash compose email and we used also res value string.xml code and android manifest.xml file also we used here manifest equal to xml android schemas.android aprs android package used here application icon label themes and activity name labels intent filter also used here category actions intent filter and start activity. Let's try to run your RSK application. I assume you have connected your actual Android mobile device with your computer. To run the app from Android Studio, open one of your project activity files and click run icon from the toolbar. Before starting your application, Android Studio installer will display following window to select an option where you want to run your Android application. Select the mobile device on your option and to check your mobile device which will display following screen. And we use compose email button to list down the email clients from the list. You can choose one of email clients to send your email. I'm going to use email client Gmail client to send me email which I will have provided defaults will fields available as shown below. Here form will be default email ID you have registered for your Android device. Null SMS message null and we used built-in SMS application intent send intent equal to new intent dot action view send intent dot put extra SMS body default content send intent dot set type vnd.android.director / mms sms start send intent. Of course, both need send sms permission, users permission, android.name, android.permission.send. And there is also we used in method and description. First one is array list string divide message string test. This method divides a message text into several fragments, none bigger than the maximum SMS message size. Static SMS manager get default. This method is used to get the default instance of the SMS message. And third one is void send data message string address and address short address multiple text and message string destination address string address array list and pending intent and delivery test. And fifth one is void send text message and address email address and ID and passwords. Example description also is that you will use Android Studio IDE to create an applications, modify SRC and modify layout XML file, modify Android Mist Magnifier. And this is a configuration for the send email in Android Studio.